What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here, and in this video I want to show you a few DPS damage strategies that will become very powerful starting tomorrow with the update. So in the This Week in Destiny last week, or technically this week, basically sniper rifles and ignition is getting a big damage. So solar sniper rifles with precision hits will be able to scorch targets. They will also do more damage because of Sniper's Meditation if you're running this artifact perk, which you should be if you're doing these DPS strats. And then Solar Fulmination, your ignitions do increased damage in an increased radius. So they'll be bigger and they'll do more damage. So if you're a fan of my channel, you know I love Dawn Chorus and I love Dragon's Breath. And that is basically the essence of this DPS strat. So it's best on Warlock because we have access to the Fragment Ember of Ashes, though I have played around with this on Prismatic, and it's also very good there. The rotation is extremely easy, so I'm just going to show you a few damage strategies utilizing some Solar Snipers and Dragon's Breath. But a couple caveats: this is better as a solo strategy, because only one person can get the Scorch and Ignition damage at a time. So basically, the more people you have employing like a Dragon's Breath, Scorch and Ignition damage strategy, the less effective it'll be. So on something like the Witness, this won't be very good. Well, it will still be decent, especially if only one person's running it. But in like a solo dungeon scenario, this absolutely slaps. And I'll show you a few damage rotations on the Grasp of Avarice Ogre boss. But yeah, basically, Solar Sniper Rifle precision hits scorch targets. If everyone is running this, the first person that applies the Scorch, they are the ones that will benefit from the Scorch damage. But if we go to Dawn Chorus, your Daybreak projectiles deal more damage and scorch targets on impact. Your Scorch is improved and you gain a small amount of melee energy when you Scorch, when your Scorch damages a target. So the Scorch is improved is a 3x damage boost, or 200% more. So yeah, this kind of centers around Dawn Chorus, and I will get into the damage rotation. So for this damage rotation, I'm going to be using an Apex Predator just because we are in the Enclave. So the way Dragon's Breath reloads itself is it's based on the amount of Scorch you apply. So the more Scorch you're applying, the faster it will reload. But we can't apply any Scorch to these dummy testing targets. So I'm just using an Apex Predator with Reconstruction. But as you can see, the damage rotation is very simple. You just shoot a Dragon's Breath shot, shoot a bunch of your Solar Sniper, and I'll get into some good Solar Snipers to use in a second. And then you just dump your clip, reload, swap to Dragon's Breath. And the reason this will work so well is because of that new artifact perk where Solar Sniper Rifles will scorch targets. That's what kind of made me want to make this video, is because that is going to give a lot of benefit to Dawn Chorus and Dragon's Breath both. So you can see how easy it is. It's just swap to rocket, dump snipers. The one thing is you have to hit your crits to apply the Scorch. So hopefully it's a boss that's easy to hit crits on. If it's not, then this will be a little more difficult. So here is an example of this damage strategy in action. So we're on Song of Flame on Solar with Ember of Ashes. So we pre-shoot our Dragon's Breath shot, and then I kind of screw up by not keeping Dragon's Breath out. I keep swapping. But I will show a clip with how fast Composite Propellant reloads itself. But you can see we are just pumping Dragon's Breath shots in like crazy. And then when we run out, we just kind of move to safety, shoot one more shot, throw our melee for Radiant. Oh yeah, I also have Ember of Torches. And then we're hitting crits. So again, these crits will be doing ignition damage after the update. So just with that, we were able to do about half his health. So to get a 2-phase on this Ogre boss with such an easy damage strategy is very strong. So here is the same strat on Prismatic, with the only difference being I don't have triple Solar Surge because I didn't stack it up properly on the Thralls leading into damage. But even still, you can see we do over 2 million damage. But this, I was just doing it to show it also works on Prismatic if you wanted to run that, even without Ember of Ashes. And you can see Composite Propellant is reloading very quickly. So like I said, still very strong. And then we have Apotheosis Veil, which is how we're getting so many abilities. And then again, we just shoot him with the sniper. So that one was pretty much all ability based and just rockets, very little sniper damage. And then here is a rotation with Apotheosis Veil on Solar with fusion grenades, which are very, very strong, obviously. And you can see we are getting our composite propellant up very quickly. We do miss a melee there, so that screws up our rotation a bit. And I do have div from my buddy TJ. So this would be simulating this damage strategy, but after the artifact mods are in the game, we're going to be doing more damage with our sniper rifle, as well as causing scorch and ignitions, and they'll be doing more damage. So this rotation right here will be doing more damage after the update tomorrow.
Hi. No.
This damage strategy also works well with Still Hunt and Apex Predator. Unfortunately, when I did my rotation, my footage was really zoomed in on OBS, so you couldn't see the damage numbers, but I hit for 2.7 million, and I screwed up my Still Hunt slightly, so it wasn't a perfect damage rotation. So this will still be extremely powerful even after the changes, but I just wanted to bring light to the effectiveness of Dawn Chorus and Apotheosis Veil after these changes go live, just because of Scorch and Ignition getting such a big buff with Solar Fulmination. The other thing I want to talk about is the weapons. I've done some breakdowns on my channel recently of like some good solar weapons to get before tomorrow, but the Ikelos Sniper Rifle with 4th times Focus Fury, this is a 20% damage buff, but it doesn't activate right away. So if you wanted more consistent damage, or if you were in something like a GM where you're using these strats on champions, so you want that that consistent damage that's always up, then Vorpal Weapon is 15%, but it works on every shot. Again, I also did a rotation of this and hit for around 2.7 million, but again, that footage was zoomed in. But yeah, the Vorpal Weapon Uzume is very, very good. Ideally, I would have 4th times the charm, but I have Clown Cartridge, which is still decent. And then in a team setting, where again, this kind of falls off the more players you have, as only one person can take advantage of this Scorch and Ignition damage. But in a team setting, Distant Tumulus is going to be very, very strong after the update, especially with Clown Cartridge and Firing Line. If you have Firing Line, that's 20% damage increase when you're surrounded by 2 or more allies. And then again, you're going to be causing ignitions and applying Scorch and all that stuff. So yeah, you're going to be doing more damage with Sniper's Meditation. Again, we don't know those buffs, but subscribe to the channel as I will be testing those, and I'll get the footage out to you as soon as I can. And then Solar Fulmination, you'll be doing increased damage from your ignitions, and you'll be applying Scorch from your Solar Sniper Rifles, and Dawn Chorus increases the Scorch damage. So I just wanted to kind of show those different damage strategies. Again, you can use Well of Radiance with Apotheosis Veil, with Dawn Chorus. It all just comes down to the environment and like what you're doing. So if you wanted to run Daybreak to take advantage of that Dawn Chorus extra damage, that would be really good on something like the Ogre boss in Warlord's Ruin, because it's such a long damage fight. Or you could use Song of Flame. You can use Song of Flame with Celestial Fire or Incinerator Snap. Fusion grenades are always really strong. Again, it also works on Prismatic. I was using these, and then you could cast a Rift for Hellion with more Scorch damage as well. So again, it really depends on the environment. But what's so nice about it with Dragon's Breath as opposed to Still Hunt is the bulk of your damage is coming from Dragon's Breath instead of the Sniper, so it's less reliant on you hitting crits. And then Dragon's Breath also has amazing ammo reserves and total damage. So that's something that kind of gets lost on people. Everyone's worried about DPS, but total damage is very, very important for solo players. I just did a solo Nightfall this week with Dragon's Breath and it worked awesome. I was on my Hunter. So yeah, I'm just very happy. Not that it ever really fell off, but it's going to be even stronger tomorrow once we get this new artifact column. So those new artifact perks will be along this bottom line, I'm thinking. So yeah, anyways, I hope that was helpful and informative. And if it was, then a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching. Take care.